The Orbital Guards, Episode 10, Hyperspace. Human beings laud their ancestors, the pioneers, explorers, and test pilots that gave their all so that we can step forward on their shoulders. Exploration is by definition fatal. Failure is required, and the bravery necessary to stop is as critical as the fortitude needed to carry on. Life at sea or in the vastness of space as we know it is beyond difficult, and today our noble best are regularly challenged to their limits. Space and space travel is hard. In fact, it's really hard, and it has to be. The rewards and knowledge gained are simply too great. The information that's gained for the next generation of explorers is worth the risks. In the space business, you need to make billions of dollars to do trillions of good. History looks back at this particular time and its leaders as noble caretakers. And remember, when you sit down at the trillionaires' table, it's never about the money. Hyperspace. At Cove, compartmentalization has been replaced with cohesion. Everyone moves with a purpose when you're cycling through, but there's a lot going on, and no one was expected to know everything. To help confront this, a bonding of souls present was required. To receive this blessing, our reality hoppers needed to merge. To the better moral minds, using the best available information, it was decided that the twin Voyager spacecrafts would provide an end-of-mission status. This meant that all souls related were to stand down. Full stop. When humanity lost contact with the Voyagers, the Orbital Guard's mission clock would stop. With this in mind, we had our definitive mission objective and timeline secured. One of the many lessons we learned from the 20th century was to never unleash omnipotence without committing to the duality of action. This is often called the Powell Doctrine. Please trust these words. By the year 2030, the idea of humanity crafts drifting alone through the fabric of space doesn't sit too well with folks. We've been repeatedly warned by some of our greatest minds that sending messages out into the cosmos about ourselves is probably a mistake. Although the Voyager spacecraft data would stream in for longer than anyone anticipated, by the year 2030, a new discussion would begin to emerge. In less than 10 years, human beings will begin having an open global discussion about going to retrieve them. The certainty of this is what bonds us together at Cove. So no matter where you were at Cove or who you bumped into, there was this knowledgeable fact. Even if your joke, for example, with the couchmakers fell flat, a simple look or change of body language would bring you back to that bedrock. To XYZ Brigade, her peers were openly discussing ropes cast on a crewed vessel to retrieve the Voyager spacecrafts. The dialogue and discussion begins ramping up near the end of 2028, and would gain even more steam between 2036 and the year 2050. It was time to become a not-so-quiet professional learner. In Bill Campbell's book, $1 Trillion Coach, he mentions a few key points that helps leaders push through their toughest challenges. For example, only coach the coachable, be an active listener, and don't tell people what to do. To these points I would add, always be open-minded, be imaginative, and for goodness sake, please have more fun. This is heavy mental lifting. Planetary stewardship in the age of artificial intelligence and sentient robotics requires a new mindset in order for us as a species to thrive. Do your actions work with the Earth? Are you connecting your passion, whenever you figure out who you are and why you're here now, to pure exploration? And remember, water flows down here. 30 plus years is a blink. Ironically, our not so gentle nudges to recognize this is the very intent that opens up hyperspace to humanity, if we don't destroy ourselves. ABC XYZ Brigade has that 1AU stare.